We speak student.
Frankenstein. A la Shmoop. My name is Captain Walton. After I'd failed at everything else, I took off for the Arctic in search of fame and glory because, well, okay, in retrospect, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But there I was on my ship, just floating around, when my crew and I came across this guy who was so cold he turned into a popsicle. Turns out his name was Victor Frankenstein, and boy did he have a story. Well, it all started when Victor was a kid. He wanted to do something completely insane with his life, like harnessing the power of lightning,
By Odin's hammer.
or marrying his adopted sister Elizabeth. Well, in college, Victor was determined to make a name for himself as a scientist and figured out a way to reanimate the dead. I would have looked for a cure for cancer, but hey, that's just me. Victor decided he couldn't reanimate just any corpse. Using Play-Doh and toothpicks, he patched together a body to bring to life. But then during the reanimation process, of course, something went horribly, horribly wrong. The Play-Doh didn't hold up to Victor's weird science, and his creation turned out fugly, like really, really fugly. Then a stray toothpick flew out of nowhere and jabbed Victor in the eye, sending him running from the room in search of a first aid kit. Unfortunately, Victor's creature thought his maker fled because of his fugliness, so the creature made like a tree and leafed. Anyway, according to Victor, things went downhill from there. When his kid brother was murdered, he just knew the monster had committed the crime. The monster told Victor to make another monster, a female one this time, please and thank you, so the original monster could have a girlfriend. Brought to you by the kindly loving people at JDate. However, as Victor worked, he kept thinking about the potential consequences of his actions. What if his creations had babies? Victor wasn't sure the world could handle it, so he destroyed the monster's girlfriend while the monster watched. Not his best idea ever. In retaliation, the monster murdered Victor's BFF. Then, once Victor had married his adopted sister, the monster offed her too. Next, Victor's dad dropped dead of grief. How many deaths are we up to now? Alright, well, Victor chased the monster towards the North Pole and was just about to ask Santa Claus and his reindeer for directions when my crew and I picked him up. Victor begged to continue north. My crew was tired of icebergs and polar bears and wanted to go south. Warmer down there. And then, of course, because there hasn't already been enough death in this story, Victor kicked the bucket too. The monster showed up on my ship to mourn his maker's demise. Miserable because killing people had alienated him from humanity even more than his hideous appearance had. So if you take anything away from this tragic tale, just remember this. Be very, very careful what you sculpt out of Play-Doh.
By Odin's hammer.